guys, it's your girl Angelica Marion going live again on behalf of F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. We provide financial services as well as mentorship services for artists. Today we're going live. We're spotlighting another artist, Chante Adams. Tay Adams. She's an amazing actress. She's known for being a leading lady on Roxanne Roxanne. She's also been a lead on The Photograph, Issa Rae's The Photograph. Hey, MC, what's up? And she's also been in Monsters and Men. She's an amazing, amazing actress. We're going to bring her on here in just a bit. We're just waiting for her to join us, but we're super, super excited for her to come on here with us. So we just sent her a request and she should be in shortly. I hope you guys are having a blessed week. I hope you're staying safe and healthy. Hey, MC. Thanks, girl. I hope you're staying safe and healthy. I'm staying safe and healthy. Just left the gym, get my fitness in. But yeah, of course, you guys know we're doing this. We're spotlighting these artists. We're hoping that their stories, their testimonies will inspire you to keep going, because it is our stories that keep each other going when we feel like giving up, especially as artists, with everything going on within the industry, not necessarily knowing, the uncertainty of what's going to happen next for our careers and things of that sort. It's just nice to have a breath of fresh air and hear someone else's testimony about how they may have faced maybe a tough time, but yet they didn't give up. They stayed the course. So we're hoping that she's going to bless you. We'll just wait briefly for her to come in here, but she should be in shortly.
Yeah. Hi, Jelly.
You're so beautiful.
You look beautiful. How are you?
I'm amazing. Your skin looks awesome.
Thank you. I've been doing my new nightly routine, trying to keep it cute.
It's working, honey. It's working. It's so nice to see you. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. This is my first live ever.
Really?
I've never done this before. I was like an old woman trying to where's the button to join
No,
this?
it's all good. I had never used it until I started doing this. So I started this company. It's a nonprofit. Basically, you know how being an inner city youth growing up in Detroit, we may not have had all the resources, or may not have that exposure or even just, the connections. So basically what I decided to do was I started this nonprofit to basically become everything I didn't have growing up for artists that are incoming. And so basically what we're doing, since we can't meet face to face and do any activations, we're just spotlighting casting directors, actors, things of that sort. So we've been going live with people every week. So I'm becoming a master at using this now. So
yes, that's so beautiful. I have to say thank you, just on behalf of a fellow artist, of we know we grew up, in the same place. And so those resources are limited for us. So luckily we had, MC, our amazing drama teacher, to help guide us throughout the way. She is. Hey, MC.
Yes, we have the same amazing drama teacher and mentor. She's an amazing woman. We'll shout her out to the death of us, because that's how much we love her.
Yeah.
But so basically my company is called F.A.T.E. It's the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. So it's F.A.T.E Global, because we do activations in other countries as well for impoverished communities and at-risk teens. But today we have you on here. I already introduced you to our people. We already have people in here. We're so excited to have you. But Chante Adams, she's an amazing actress. You can go watch her on Netflix, on different networks. You can watch her as Roxanne Roxanne. I watched you. You did an amazing job. I loved your work.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. She's also starring on The Photograph. I watched that too. You did so good.
Thank you, Jelly. Thank you.
Absolutely. So guys, make sure you connect with her, follow her. I dropped her Instagram handle below. F.A.T.E Global's Instagram handle is there too. So if you enjoy her testimony and what she shares today, just make sure you continue the journey with her. So let's just get started. By the way, I just got Invisalign, so I sound a little weird, but I don't even care.
I did not even notice.
You did?
Girl, yes. You sound so clear to me.
Oh, perfect. Because all my friends have been saying that. Girl, you self-conscious? I said, yes, I am. Because this is only day 3, so it's the
You're doing great.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So yeah. Shout out to you guys. Yes, Invisalign, we all have it. Cool. I'm about to have straight teeth. But let's just jump into it. A lot of people probably want to know how you got started in the entertainment industry. How did that happen for you?
Well, I started acting in high school, at Cass Tech in our drama department, and from there I ended up going to Carnegie Mellon University and majoring in acting. Once I decided that this was something that I wanted to do with my career, and from there is kind of when things took off for me. Right after college, I moved to New York, and I ended up a casting director reached out to me and told me she saw my senior showcase.
Nice.
And then she wanted me to come in and audition for this movie that she was casting. And I said, oh, it's my first movie audition. That's great. And I went in. She told me that I was called back. So I was like my first callback. That was great. And then she told
Wow.
me that it was time for the final callbacks. And then like 2 weeks later, I was on set for Roxanne Roxanne. And that was kind of the start of everything. It happened very fast. Within the span of 6 weeks, I was graduating college and on set. But I wouldn't have had it any other way.
I love that. You know what? That's an amazing story because most college graduates coming out of drama school, it doesn't happen like that for them. So how did you embrace that stardom? And even just, the rush and the quickness, just keeping up with the entertainment industry, having to learn the lines so quick, but also you just were graduating. You were adjusting to
Yeah.
New York. How did you handle that?
Wow. Now it kind of seems like it was all a blur. I honestly don't know, but my life mantra is just to take things one step at a time, one day at a time. And so once I got the role, I was also in the middle of moving. All my furniture, all my clothes were still in Pittsburgh. I hadn't even fully moved to New York yet. And so it was just like, okay, what do I need to do first? I'm going to handle that, and then I'll handle this. And yeah, that's all I can say is just take it one step at a time, because that was definitely a very overwhelming and joyful part of my life as well. But it was hard. So yeah, just one day, one step at a time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. One day, one step at a time. So when you got the call that you booked the role, how did that make you feel? Your first role.
I was in Times Square dropping something off when my agent called me, and he didn't say it outright. What he said was, so you're definitely still in the mix. They want to know, would you be okay if they put braces on you? And I was like, they can do absolutely anything to me.
Period.
It was my first role. And he was like, okay, great. Well, you got it. And then I started running in Times Square. I know I looked like a complete crazy person. And then I just stood still because I didn't know what to do. It was just like, I just got this role, this movie. And then, so I called my mom and she didn't answer. And I was like, okay, this is not. So I called MC, who of course picks up on like the first ring.
Always available.
And she's like, of course, always available. And she just like told me to breathe, because of course then I'm about to have a panic attack in the middle of Times Square. And it's just, it's an indescribable feeling, honestly, when your dreams start to come true, when stuff that you've planned comes to fruition. It's just really beautiful, and it made me so incredibly happy.
I just felt your happiness. That's amazing. Oh, I hope you guys have felt her happiness too. Literally, the way you just worded that and articulated it, I felt every little drop of your happiness come onto me. Thank you. I'm happy for you. That's so awesome. That's amazing. So when you were a little girl, did you always dream like, I want to be an actress, or when did that thought come about for you?
I when I was young, I used to say, oh, I want to be an actress. I'm going to grow up and be an actress. But I never knew what that meant. I wasn't really serious. I used to just tell my parents, I was like, I just want to have a career where I can make a lot of money so that I can hire a maid and not do these chores. Like, that was, that's what I used to tell my parents. They still tease me about it to this day. So I would say that, but I didn't really know what it meant. By the time I got to Cass, I was definitely on a more business-oriented route. I was in marketing and entrepreneurship. I wasn't even in the performing arts curriculum.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was not in performing arts. I was like taking all the business classes throughout the day, and then going to Reader's Theater, and then going to rehearsals. And yeah, so I was definitely more business-oriented. I was probably planning to go to University of Michigan and get my MBA. But God said, not today. And so I followed that path instead.
I love that. That's amazing. So when you talk about, so did you kind of dabble in other things? I mean, you went straight from high school to college. Did you have like
Mm-hmm.
other little jobs along the way while you were in school, or were you just focusing on your studies?
While I was in college or high school?
High school, college, just along your journey, because it things, the way things aligned for you, it was destined, it was God's purpose. So as soon as you graduated,
Absolutely.
you booked that role. But that's not everyone's journey. You know, some
Mm-hmm.
actors, they're serving tables, they're doing these different things. So did you dabble in other things
Right.
along the way and decide, oh, maybe I don't want to be an actor and kind of come back to it, or were you always like
Yeah.
headstrong? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give. I'm gonna have my mates. I'm gonna have
You
fun.
know, so I was always on the path, to be honest. I was always on the path. And let me tell you why. It was because MC in high school would have us in them at that theater until 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night. So there really wasn't no time for a job when we were in rehearsals all day.
Mhm.
But that prepared me for a conservatory program once I got to Carnegie Mellon, because the hours were rigorous and intense, and I'm in class at 8 a.m. and I'm leaving the building at 10 p.m. And so there was also no time for a job then. I
Right.
nannied on the
Mhm.
side, like just
Nice.
so I could have
Hey.
money because I love the kids.
Mhm.
But no, there was no time for me to like dibble and dabble into other careers. It
Mhm.
was definitely like, all right, all my marbles are in this pot, so it's got to work out.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good note. I think we should write that one down. So, also when you talk about your experience on Roxanne Roxanne, you were the lead of the
Hmm.
show. So,
Hmm.
how did you handle that and embrace that, being a leader on set and leading the show? Your attitude dictated different things because you're the lead on the set and everyone's looking
Hmm.
at you. So, can you kind of speak to being a leader as well as how that kind of dabbles into you being a lead on different shows and things of that sort?
Right. So for Roxanne Roxanne specifically, when you're often the lead of a show, I think leader is a good title. They're often leaders. I was not. I was in no way, shape, or form the leader. I was
Mm-hmm.
very young and didn't know what I was doing. I was absolutely the lead. However, I was blessed enough to be able to work with people who were leading me and guiding me throughout the entire process. And so I had people like my wonderful producers who are still my mentors to this day, Mimi Valdez and Nina Yang Bon Jovi,
Mm-hmm.
were on set with me every day. And as was Nia Long, what I really appreciated about her is that I told her from the jump, I was like, I just got out of college. Like, I've never been on a film set before. I went to theater school. I don't really know, like, what I'm doing. You know, I hopped on the set, and all I knew that I knew how to act, and I knew how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I was confident in those two things, I could do it. I knew I could do it. But a set is very different than the stage. It just
Mm-hmm.
is. Like, there's different people for different things. A theater director is so focused on the actors. A film and television director isn't. They're focused on the lighting and the shot, and I wasn't used to that personally. So after every scene, I'm like looking around for my notes, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what do I change? What do I do? And what I appreciated about Nia is that she saw that in me, and she would come to set on her days off to help me and like would pull me aside and direct me.
Wow,
And because she saw that that was what I needed, and I absolutely needed that.
that's
And so yeah, I'm just so grateful for the people who welcomed me in coming into the industry right out of school, because without them, I don't know what I would have done
yeah.
without their guidance.
That's amazing. Thank you for being so transparent,
Hmm.
just being vulnerable and being open to the real truth of your experiences. I'm sure that that can help someone else that may have the same path. They may get a role right after college and they're growing into that role. And so then someone else kind of takes them in and helps them and mentors them into this beautiful flower.
Yeah.
So, can you kind of speak to what has been your favorite set experience or the your best? I mean, I know that you enjoy creating all of your characters, but what has been like your favorite set experience, or what role that was more fun to you?
Well, Roxanne Roxanne, of course, holds a very special place in my heart just because I was spoiled. I was like, as a black actress, being that my first role was a lead role that I was working with a Black director, and all my producers were of color. My hair and makeup trailer were of color,
Wow.
and I quickly learned that that's not the case for every set, every show, at all. You are often working with people who do not understand you as a Black person, as a person of color, and learning to speak up for yourself was definitely something that I I had to learn. Like, I absolutely had to learn that. So yeah, Roxanne Roxanne is very special, but honestly, I I don't know. Each role that I've played is just near and dear to my heart. I can't pick favorites.
I know, right? Like
Yeah.
grandma, she never picks favorites.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
you
a grandma to all my characters.
I like that. So if you had if you had a choice to choose your dream role, what would that be for you? Do you have one?
Yeah. So I want to be a superhero. I
Nice.
want to fly and stuff one day, but I also want to. I would really love to do another biopic on a woman during the civil rights movement that we don't
Yeah.
really know that much about.
Mm,
Just somebody who was really active, who doesn't really get their name out there like that.
mm-hmm.
That's kind of a dream role for me.
I love that. That's amazing. Well, people see you on TV, they see you doing these different things, but they don't know behind the scenes all the work and the grit that you put in to be into the space that you're in currently. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of speak to some of the adversities that you face and what you do to overcome those adversities, because you've overcome them because you're here and you're breathing now and you're smiling and happy. So
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, there has been adversities at every level that I've reached every peak, even from college, leaving a place like Detroit,
yeah.
which is like, or at least it was, a Black utopia, and
Right.
going to a PWI was difficult. That was a culture shock for me. And so having to find my people, but also be in this very intense program, it was a lot the first couple of years
Yeah.
until I became accustomed to it. And it prepared me for after graduation. I had a great start, and Roxanne Roxanne happened, and that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But then, um, after Roxanne Roxanne, things got a little difficult because in the middle, there was a period where Roxanne Roxanne wasn't out yet,
Mm-hmm.
but everything that I would be auditioning for, it was like, okay, so I just got this lead role in this movie, and we're hoping that it's going to be really big. So after I've done that, it doesn't really, I wasn't really going back and doing like guest stars or,
Yeah,
you
because you are
know,
already in a certain space.
right. But
Mm-hmm.
listen, that was the plan. Post graduation, I was
Right.
like, sign me up, girl number 3, Law and Order SVU.
Mm-hmm.
But after Roxanne Roxanne, that my agents and my managers are like, no, we can't do that. So we're only auditioning you for big stuff. And I'm like, okay, great, that's so great, that's so great. But then a couple months roll by, and all the feedback is they love you, they think you're so talented, but they keep asking to see your work. And I'm like, I don't have any work.
Yeah, yeah.
I This is the only thing that I've done. It's not out yet. Like, they can't watch it. And Roxanne Roxanne took 2 years to come out. It didn't come out until 2018, and we shot it in 2016. And so that period, I worked and I did. I ended up doing like a couple more indies that I absolutely loved working on and everything. But there was definitely that period of just like months where I wasn't working. I
Yeah.
wasn't making any money, but I had to constantly. I'm grateful that I surrounded myself with people who believed in me,
Yes.
because there are times where you're going to doubt yourself and you're not going to believe in yourself. But as long as you have those people around you that are constantly supporting you, that are constantly lifting you up and pushing you to give you that reminder that you are in your right place and that you are following God's plan, I think it's just that saved me personally. And that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that would be my advice there, to make
That's
sure that
amazing.
you have your circle and your village and your people.
Mm-hmm. That was solid advice. That was amazing. Thanks again for being so vulnerable and transparent with us. When you speak to that period of time, or even just being an actor and artist within itself, you're constantly experiencing rejection. You look at that, but when you are people, they give up on the career maybe because they just can't handle it. Can you speak to how you overcome that rejection?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job, honestly. Like you can look at anybody's career and it doesn't matter if they've got like 50 or 10 or 100 great things on their resume. You have to times that by 10 to know that that's how many roles that they lost out on, most likely.
That's so true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
for every like amazing role that I get, and I'm so grateful that I get, there's most likely like 20 roles that I also auditioned for in that period that I did not get, and some of them that I really wanted to, and some rejection has hit harder than others. But again, just reminding yourself, you know, I just go back to something that MC would always tell us in high school, and that was you have to focus on your own plate. Because the minute that you start comparing yourself and you're focused on somebody else's plate and what they're eating, is the moment all your food's going to get taken because your eyes aren't on your plate. And so that's just something that I remember during those times. And I also try to be happy for whoever gets the role. Is it hard? Of course. But at the end of the day, like, the pool of Black actresses is so small, and so we have to be there to support and uplift each other. And so even if there's something that I didn't get, I'm gonna still watch it. Like, I'm gonna still shoot her a message to be like, I thought you were really amazing in this role. Like, you did that, you killed it, it was so for you. And I'm gonna move on because I know that God has something for me.
Come on now with the word. Take us to church. Thanks for that. Thanks for taking us to church. So I'm sure, you know, of course, like all of us, we're all evolving and you're still growing. But if you can give your younger self advice, meaning maybe your high school version or even the girl in college that didn't know that her life would be where she is today, it's going to be a younger version of you watching this. If you can give her some advice, what is it that you would say to her?
I would say there's no time for doubt.
Come on now.
There's other things you can be doing than sitting in your room doubting yourself. Girl, work on your craft. Read a script. Read a book. Order a play. Go see a play. Do something else besides sit there and doubt yourself. Keep busy. Because there's going to be a time where you're busy with work and you're going to wish you did all those things. So.
I love that. That's amazing, amazing, beautiful, beautiful advice. So what are some things that you do amongst, there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. We have a lot of uncertainty within the industry. We have a movement that's moving forward. We have all these different things that are going on around us. What are things, and not even just this, things come and go within our life experiences. So what are some things that you do to stay well? How do you keep yourself grounded?
Yoga, meditation are really big for me. I like to cook. I'm vegan, so just discovering new recipes and stuff like that. I've recently discovered a love for working out, and let me tell you, I used to hate the gym, thought that it was created by the devil, but now I have like a trainer.
Yes, me
And I
too.
can do it in my living room. So that works out a little better. Also, reading and watching TV are like my biggest hobbies, just because I like anything that can transport me away, especially like when I'm having a bad day, mentally, whatever. Like, throw a good book in front of me, throw a good TV show in front of me, and some good food. And yeah, that's just how I unwind.
That's amazing. Beautiful. I love it. Sounds fun, festive. I do all the same things.
Yes.
So when you kind of like with things are kind of fast paced for you, when not maybe right now with everything going on, but just your life. How do you maintain and cultivate healthy relationships with those that are around you? And can you also speak to the importance of maintaining healthy, authentic relationships within the industry?
I think it's important to surround yourself with people who understand your lifestyle, because the moment that you get somebody who doesn't understand that you're going to be on set for 16 hours and you're not going to be able to talk to them is the moment that you get stressed out. and that's going to come out in your work if someone else is stressing you out. And so I've just been blessed to have like a group of friends and my family, to know that, oh, she's filming right now, so she'll get back to us when she can get back to us, unless it's my parents, in which they're most likely have flown to wherever I'm filming and are bugging me on set, because they do that. But for like any other relationships that I have, I always make sure that they know from the get-go that, like, hey, just so you know, my phone's not on me, but also there, after 5 straight days of 14-hour film days or whatever, you're really tired. And sometimes, like, I'm like, okay, I need to catch up with everybody. What's everybody doing? Other times, I'm like, I just need to lock myself in my room today and sleep and rest and watch TV and replenish myself. And so I just think it's important to surround yourself with people who understand that and who understand how you work, because everybody works differently.
That's amazing. Awesome. Love that. Love that. Solid advice. So when you're developing these characters, can you kind of speak to your process? Do you have an acting coach helping you out with these things? Are you doing it on your own? How does that process look? What's that process look like for you?
Yeah, so I don't have an acting coach. I have MC, who I call.
That's acting coach.
Yeah, so I still have a lot of like my journals from my years in college, so I use a lot of those. And luckily we were taught how to break down a script, so usually that's what I'm doing first, is breaking down a script, looking at objectives, beats, like all those types of things, doing research on the character, because I, for some reason, am often doing period pieces.
I noticed that.
Yeah, me too. Um, I'm rarely in the present, and it's usually during periods where I wasn't alive. So I'm often doing a lot of research. I'm a professional at the 80s, I must say. Yeah. So yeah, research, breaking down my script. What else am I doing? Reading up on like finding inspiration for my character. Not necessarily modeling them after someone, but just being like, my character would be friends like that with that person, or
Exactly.
that's something that like my character resonates with. And yeah, just doing it. It also depends. It also depends from whether it's stage or film and TV, because plays are more wordy. They require more script work than a film or television script does. So yeah, it all just depends on the character, honestly.
I love that. Awesome. Awesome. I see the guys are actually putting questions in the comment box. Guys, if you have questions, could you just put them in the question box for us? Because we want to answer all your questions. That's what we have. We're here for, but we don't want to miss your questions. So if you don't mind, just put them in the question box and we won't forget to ask them for you. So you share a lot of different information, a lot of different useful tools that I feel like any artist can learn from your experiences. Even with you living in New York and LA, can you kind of speak to that? Because some artists, they move out to New York or LA and it gets too tough and then they go back home. Did you ever feel like that? Can you kind of speak to that, like, experience just living in a fast-paced city amongst a lot of different competition?
Yeah. Well, I moved from home at 17. I was 17 when I went to school. And so I knew that I didn't want to go back home, whenever things would get hard, more than just a visit. Also, because I'm not trying to live with my parents again. So, and that would be the first thing I'd have to do if I moved back home. But those 4 years of being away for school definitely prepared me for the next steps. And so moving to New York was hard, just because New York is like the opposite of my personality. I'm super like chill, kind of shy, usually in a corner, really quiet. And New York is just like, oh my God, just super fast paced, rambunctious. So my advice, if you're moving to New York, if like fast paced life isn't your lifestyle, would be to make sure your home is away from the city, like the city, because that is what kept me sane. Honestly, I lived in Brooklyn, but of course, on my auditions and stuff were in Manhattan, and so I'd have to travel a lot into the city. But just being able to go home where it was just a little slower kept me sane. And so I was in New York for about a year and a half. And then I moved to LA, and I've been in LA for 3 years. LA was definitely more my speed. It's a lot slower. The weather's nicer, all those types of things. But LA was difficult because it was so far. I was so used to being on the East Coast, and even though I didn't live home, I was always close to home. Pittsburgh was a 4-hour drive from Detroit, a lot into the city. But just being able to go home where it was just a little slower kept me sane. And so I was in New York for about a year and a half. And then I moved to LA, and I've been in LA for 3 years. LA was definitely more my speed. It's a lot slower. The weather's nicer, all those types of things. But LA was difficult because it was so far. I was so used to being on the East Coast, and even though I didn't live home, I was always close to home. Pittsburgh was a 4-hour drive from Detroit. New York was an hour and a half flight. So it was just easier to get home when I needed to. But now I'm on the other side of the country. Pretty much alone. None of my friends had moved out here yet at this time, and so I was kind of like navigating these LA ways by myself. And so that was hard, because that was also the period where I was talking about that Roxanne Roxanne hadn't come out yet, and so I wasn't really working either. And so I was in this new place with no job, and just kind of like living on faith and figuring it out. But again, taking it one day at a time, and just not taking my eyes off of the goal. Like, I knew why I was supposed to be here, and I knew why God put me here. And so just remembering that when the times did get hard.
Blessings. That's amazing. So we both have the same mentor, MC. Can you speak about mentorship, why it's important for someone to get a mentor, how it's helped you develop as a woman, or even within your entertainment career?
Yeah. Oh, it's so incredibly important. I can wholeheartedly say I wouldn't be who I am without my mentors, or the people who have guided me, starting with MC, who is like still the number one to this day. Like, so absolutely. But even through college and post grad, I found that I usually sought those people out. I would latch on to them. Just, it was just like, the path. Show me. Show me the way.
Because I don't know nothing.
Right. But then there's times that I have to figure things out for myself. But and although those times are hard, I did it, and I knew that I was capable of, because of the lessons that were instilled in me by my mentors. And so yeah. And as I spoke earlier about like Mimi Valdez and Nina, who were producers on Roxanne Roxanne, those became really big mentors to me, even mostly after filming, with just connecting me with people, introducing me to people. So mentorship is so incredibly important, and I honestly can't wait to be able to be like, that's my mentee and I'm a mentor, just because that was so influential over my life. So I definitely want to pass that on.
That's awesome. Well, you're basically doing that on behalf of our company today, because
Yay!
we have mentees that are watching and they're learning from you. You actually have a question in the question box, so let's see what they're saying. Are you thinking about doing more movies?
Every day. I think about it every day. Will today be the day that I can do another movie? No, but really, yes, there are a couple things that are coming out later this year. Two movies. Bad Hair will be on Hulu in October, and that is from Justin Simien, who created Dear White People. And then I did a movie for Lionsgate, which will be in theaters maybe November 25th, and that's called Voyagers. So those will be out later this year. And, you know, maybe when the world opens back up, I can film some more.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Amazing, amazing. Congrats on all of that. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. You shared so many things with us. I mean, you talked about how you got started in the entertainment industry. You talked about you just knowing from a child, you would just say it randomly, which is the power of manifestation. I want to be an actress, and now look at you now. You know, you also talked about some of the adversities that you faced, and just kind of how your career kind of was just, it was just God's ordained plan for you to be where you are because of the way that things kind of align for you.
Yeah.
So if you could leave 3 tips, you talked about a lot, you told us a lot, but if you can say 3 tips that you would leave to a fellow artist or actor, not necessarily that they need to be doing right now at this moment, but just in general, what are 3 tips that you leave another artist, you tell them that they could be doing right now or should be doing rather?
Not that they have to do them right now, but that I
General
kind of live by. Yeah. Keep learning. Even if you go to school, after you're done with school, you are a forever student. So keep learning, keep reading. Keep your peace. This is an industry that is hard and can easily disrupt your peace. Find whatever works for you that allows you to keep your peace. And find your village. This career, it's my career, but it truly takes a village in order to get to where you want to be. In order for me to get to where I am, it took my village. And so find your village, find your mentors, your supporters, your people that are going to hold you up. That's the 3 pieces of advice.
That was a good 3.
Yeah.
That was a real good 3. I like that. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on here. I mean, you have accomplished so many things. You're representing Detroit extremely well. Oh, right when I'm about to close out, you just got one more question.
Okay.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's not a question. They're just saying you did really, really good in Roxanne Roxanne.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, but you're really representing us very well. As a Black woman, as a woman from Detroit, as a Cass Tech graduate,
Thank you.
Yes, you're doing amazing, amazing things. You wear your crown extremely well, so we salute you, Queen. And we're inspired by your journey. I really hope that those that are watching today have been inspired by your testimony, the things that you shared today. I'm feeling full. I hope that you're feeling full. I'm so glad that you were able to come on here. You could have been reading your books. You could have been doing anything, but yet to come and give back and share your journey. So again, we appreciate you on behalf of F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment.
Thank you, Jelly. This was so wonderful. I'm so proud of you, girl. Keep doing your thing. You were just putting on for the city as well. Like, I'm so excited to watch your journey. And who knows, because we might be on screen together one day.
Come on.
Okay.
Don't play with us. That would be amazing. I'm claiming it right now. God, that was 2 people that agreed. So I'm claiming it. Okay, so we're gonna let you go. You're getting so much love. So many people are giving you hearts. Guys, we thank you for joining on here today. We hope that you loved everything she shared. If you love what she shared, go ahead and follow her. Her social media handle is below and connect with her. Show her some love.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
See you later, sis. Thank you.